slapping the bass. Oh man. I have no idea what I'm doing. Hi, I'm Ola and I'm sitting here with a Dingwall Combustion NG, and since I'm not a bass player, it would be kind of weird for me to make a demonstration of this bass guitar and tell what is good about it or not. So in this video, I will also show you how I go about making a killer bass sound using plugins too. Now, unfortunately, the way I get a super awesome sound right now is by buying expensive plugins. But if you haven't already, you should go check out my tutorial video from 5 to 6 years back. In that video, I'm showing how I'm splitting up a bass DI into a clean and a distorted track. I still use that method a lot, so that video is still very much up to date, and you can get away doing that with stock plugins in Logic Pro, Pro Tools, Cubase, or whatever you're using. But as of late, since I spent a lot of money to get a universal audio interface, I'm privileged to say that now I have the exclusive right to spend even more money on their plugins. It's a curse, really. You just want more and more. It's extremely dangerous. Anyway, I just acquired the Ampeg SVT3 Pro plugin, and it sounds absolutely crushing. I actually bought it in time for when I was starting to track Jonas for the new The Haunted album. And basically what I'm going to do here is to dial in his type of sound. And when Jonas plays live, he uses a rat distortion pedal into an EBS or an Ampeg amplifier, and it sounds absolutely smashing. Oh, I dropped my pick. I like that type of simple setup, so I've copied that setup right here basically. But instead of the rat distortion, I'm using a tube screamer, because no, I'm not going to buy another plugin just for making this video. I already spent so much money on plugins already. Okay, so let's check out this bass. I must say, the color is maybe not my first choice when it comes to bass or guitar finishes, but one thing is for sure, people will most definitely see you if you play live, and it matches my share really good, which is awesome. This is Adam Nolly Get Good of Periphery's signature bass, and he's basically the only reason I've ever heard about Dingwall, but since then I've heard them. They've kind of exploded in the market, and this bass also has a dark glass preamp that is supposed to sound absolutely awesome, so I'm very excited to try that out. And also, as you can see, this is a fan fret bass. What that means is that you have a longer scale for the lower strings and a shorter scale for the higher strings. And just by sitting noodling a bit, I must say that it doesn't feel weird at all to play on. I mean, some basses that I've tried, they feel kind of heavy to play, but this one feels really easy to quickly move around the fretboard. It also might be because of the thin frets, I don't know. Okay, so let's just plug it in and check it out. Okay, maybe we should check out the control layout first. So here we have the volume. This is the pickup selector, so you can basically switch between the pickups and I guess kind of a mix in between them. So this is bass, this pickup right there, and this is the bridge pickup. Cool. Then we have the preamp on and off, and when the preamp is on, we have bass, middle, and treble controls here. So this is the sound without the preamp. The bass knob. Middle. Let's scoop it out. Maxed out. Then the treble. Oh, the treble was at max. One cool thing is that since the preamp requires batteries, you have the battery compartment here, and you can just remove this with your fingers, which is really nifty. So you just place it here and it stays there with magnets. Pretty cool, huh? So let's talk a little bit about my single chain right here. So here we have the tube screamer, which is basically just to drive or add gain to the sound that I have in my SVT Pro Ampeg plugin. So this is a sound without the tube screamer engaged. Now let's turn it on. That little grit will really help the bass sound kind of emerge from a mix, I would say. So that's very cool. I'm also using a compressor here just to tame the sound a little bit so I don't really get those pops or those really dynamic peaks going. Sounds really gnarly. I really like the bass sound. All right, let's try and add a little bit more, some more gain. You can never have too much gain, in my opinion. I had to stop and think how the riff went. Sorry. That sounds awesome. I must say, overall, the bass feels solid, and keep in mind that I have not tried that many basses throughout my life, but I can definitely feel it has an awesome quality to it. But something that particularly strikes me is how the bass resonates when I play it. So when I'm playing it without any amp or any volume, acoustically, it's really loud and has a great sustain. So yeah, I'm also liking the options I have here, so I would definitely see this being a great recording bass for me. If you want to know more about Dingwall guitars or this bass, check out dingwallguitars.com. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and also make sure you're actually subscribing to my channel, because I've heard a lot of people complaining that they've been unsubscribed. So before you leave, make sure you're actually subscribing, okay? Awesome. Thank you for watching. See you next time.